If you are considering getting a Fujifilm X-M5 camera, I've got 10 things that you might want to keep in mind. Hi everyone, and welcome to Pal to Tech. Is the Fujifilm X-M5 camera right for you? Here are 10 points that I think you should consider. Number one is that there is no IBIS with this camera. For those of you that don't know what IBIS is, think of it as a way for the camera to motion around the sensor like it's on shock absorbers and your hands are shaky. IBIS can help with that. IBIS does not help if your subject is moving around and you have too low of a shutter speed, okay? It does not fix subject motion. A number of lenses have already built-in image stabilization. So when you put a lens that has image stabilization on the camera, the lens will do the work of keeping things steady. I am not saying don't get this camera because it doesn't have IBIS. What I am saying is that if you plan on using it for the vlogging features and all that sort of thing, you're going to want to pair it up with a Fujifilm lens that already has image stabilization built in. Okay, the second consideration, and this is going to ruffle a few feathers. I don't care. It has a dedicated dial for the film simulation. If you've never used film simulations before, you might find this useful. If you're coming from cameras like the X-T5, say, let me put it to you this way. The top of the camera is the equivalent of Fifth Avenue real estate in New York or Beverly Hills. I did a whole video specifically on this dial. Two quick reasons I think it's kind of a waste of space here is number one, you can put it in C and then just use the menu and dial in whatever film sim you want. And the second reason is they don't have all the film sims that Fujifilm has installed in the camera on the dial. They're not all on the dial. And there's a few custom slots where you can program them in, but even doing that, you're not going to get all of the film sims. So you're going to probably be jumping into the menu anyway. You're a lot better off just programming a custom button or shoot with film simulation bracketing. I have a whole video on film sim bracketing, and this leads me very nicely along to the fact that the X-M5 is a PASM-based system. And the simple fact that having a PASM system on here, for half of you, that's a benefit. That's a reason to get it. And for others, that may be a deal breaker. If you don't know what PASM is, go to Google and type in PASM, all right? It's not like the X-T5 where you have a dial. I want my exposure triangle controls on top of my camera. A lot of other people don't care. In fact, there are a number of people that prefer the PASM system. Number 4, there is no electronic viewfinder, okay? You're gonna look really silly popping this thing off right here and trying to look through it. It's a microphone port. In other words, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You are going straight to an LCD screen for everything you do with this camera. All right, number 5, battery size and life. These last a lot longer than these. To keep the size of the camera down, they had to use the original NP, 126S batteries, the older ones, and you get about 360 shots on a full charge, give or take. It just depends on your shooting conditions, but you're gonna have to definitely budget for having at least one, if not 2 extra batteries. Number 7 concerns the SD card slot, meaning there's only one of them on this camera. And honestly, I don't think that's a huge deal for the market I think Fuji is trying to target for this camera. However, the other issue regarding SD cards is that this camera uses the UHS I speed of SD card. Your write-out speeds are going to be longer. Now, if you don't know what a RAW file is and you absolutely love and will only be shooting JPEGs, then I don't think it's really much of an issue for you. So, number 8. Hey, we're almost done with the list. There's no built-in flash. Now, I do not personally care one bit that there's no flash on here. However, some users who may be watching this video thinking of getting this camera because it's nice and small and it's getting you into a professional camera system, if you do need a flash, you need to factor in the cost of getting an external flash to go with this camera. I do need to tell you that this camera does have a steeper learning curve to understand the menus. It's a little bit inconsistent and it can be confusing for new users. For example, you've got a movie setting and a vlog setting. There's a bunch of crossover settings that affect both shooting modes. You need to go into video mode to access certain settings, even if you plan on using them for vlogging and vice versa. It's just a little jarring, especially if you're coming from other Fujifilm camera models that don't have that vlog feature. I'm not saying it's a bad way of doing it, but I am saying there is a little bit more learning curve with this camera. So be prepared to sit down and, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee and really learn the menus of the camera. Number 10, and I think this is the most important one of all, and that is the ergonomics. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is a small camera. I mean, there is almost a non-existent grip right here. You see that? But what's so strange about this is that you get used to it. Okay, so this was the size of what I was using. And to be honest, it felt great. My hand was never tired. It was awesome. But I would not want to go 1 gram heavier on a lens than this one. It has some features that Fujifilm can't, just go watch my review video. I'm not going to repeat all that stuff. But if you have normal sized human thumbs, okay, you might sometimes accidentally hit the wrong button because look at how tiny they are. And to be clear, if you're paying attention where you're pressing, you're not going to do that. But if you're like me and you're all over the map and you're never thinking, then you're going to hit them by accident from time to time. If you're concerned about the size, and I have lots of footage showing the size of this camera in my other video, I'll link to it below, that you consider renting this camera. Rent it for a few days. If it's possible, go into your local camera shop, pick it up, and just hold it. You'll know within a couple of minutes if it's right. I want to make something clear. This camera, with the body that is currently priced as of today's video at $800, is packed with features that really, I think this camera is a bargain. And as I said, you can pop on any X-mount lens to it. And I'll tell you, if ergonomics are a big factor to you and you're looking for a small little travel camera that you can do some vlogging on, that has great video, has all those wonderful film simulations, and you're the sort of person that likes smaller, lighter cameras, I have no doubt that you'll love the X-M5. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found the video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you did, be sure to give it the like and subscribe. I will see you in a new video very soon. Take care.